When Cherie moved to Japan, she never imagined becoming a line dance instructor. In fact, when someone asked her to take over the class, her response was, "Why me? I've never done this before." But that one moment, alongside the Kickstart Instructor Training Program, really changed everything for Cherie. And in this episode, she shares how Kit gave her the structure, language, and confidence to not just teach, but to build something lasting. From growing a thriving community overseas to helping couples reconnect through partner dance to creating cross cultural bonds that went beyond words. This is a story of how one woman turned uncertainty into impact and left a legacy on the other side of the world. I used to sob in the shower every morning, just hoping that the sound of the water would mask my agony. On the outside, I looked successful, but inside I was crumbling. It took heartbreak, reinvention, and a whole lot of unlearning before I realized this, that the life I was craving wasn't simply going to arrive, I had to create it. Most people are chasing clarity, confidence, or success, but what they really need is to feel safe enough to be fully seen, fully expressed, and fully alive. Welcome to the All Out As Is podcast, a podcast for brave-hearted humans, leaders, visionaries, and world changers ready to stop performing and start living in truth. I'm your host, Adia, mindset coach, dance educator, and walking permission slip, here to help you untangle the pressure, move with purpose, and build a life that feels like freedom. Each week, we dive into mindset, clarity, reinvention, aligned growth, lessons learned from the hard seasons, and the real behind the scenes of building a business and life that feels like freedom. You don't need to become someone new. Just give yourself permission to live all out as is. So take a deep breath and let's begin. How you're thrown into
So I got to Japan. I did not foresee myself teaching line dancing at all. I just, everywhere I had gone, I loved two-stepping, the little bit of bar style I had learned. And so I looked for that, and there was line dance lessons. As soon as I showed up, the instructor kind of grabbed me and said, "I'm getting ready to leave. Would you take over for me?" And so one of my first questions was like, "Oh, why me? Like, I don't have qualifications. I've never done this before." And she just said that I caught on fast, but I knew that catching on fast wasn't as much of the quality that I needed. So she passed on what she had been doing, and she helped me understand how to do at least some of the basics, right? And kind of speed catch up to all the line dances she had been teaching. Um, and then, so that's really where most of mine came from, because I only knew a handful before that. And so then I saw the Kit training, and I also knew of Hartley because she was there, and I had seen her come and do her event there. And so that's where I was like, okay, I think this would be a great opportunity for me, since apparently I'm now a line dance instructor. And but yeah, it helped me to understand that there are steps, and that, people can get creative with it, but how to keep the integrity and how to teach to the step sheets, so that way I'm helping my students know what the actual steps are supposed to be, not just what it's mutating into with them copying each person's creative additives. Um, and so I was able to do that because of Kit, and then also use correct terminology, which is huge. um, and so all those different things added value into that. And I saw the way I was teaching change too. So I wasn't, yeah. So instead of just kind of going into it, I actually had more structure, and I was able to say, okay, let me make sure I'm doing these reiterations right. I'm going to do it first 8 count, calling out the steps, and then we're going to practice it again with counts, right? And then we're going to add in the next 8 count and build, and how that gave people the structure. They actually started noticing without me even telling them that I was having extra training, of saying like, "Wow, look at you saying correct terminology for this," or like teaching us what this is called, so then they could recognize those steps in different songs. And that helped them catch on to more line dances faster, because they were able to recognize that. And then it helped me realize some things I was naturally doing, and that I was like, okay, so I naturally do that, and that's good and helpful. let me do it more intentionally or more frequently. And so it people noticed it helped. Our community grew a lot. And they kept saying, wow, Sherry, look at everything you're building. And I was like, no, no, it's not just me. One, it's our community as a whole, right? This environment and how they kept doing it. But I kept telling them, I was like, I didn't have this training. This was because of the kit training that I did. And so even when it was time for me to leave and I found Lauren to take over, I told her about it. And I was like, hey, this is, because she's like, how am I supposed to do it? Right. And I was like, yes, this is exactly how I felt when I started. And so I reminded her that I've been doing the kit training and that it gave me the fundamentals I needed to be able to teach a class and to feel confident teaching the class. That way I could be more present in it and not just an anxious mess.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that
Yeah.
makes me so happy. And tell me again
Yeah.
about the partner dance, because at first it wasn't something at all that you were even
No.
thinking.
No, so because I had only ever done partner dances at a bar, right? And I knew it was this combo of a swing and a two-step, right? Traveling two-step and then coming off the rails inward and doing some swing spins. I did not have confidence to be teaching, but I saw that there was the need of so many people wanting to get out there and do more partner dances because if they were coming to my line dance classes, in between the lessons, they would see people getting up that had already known how to do some sort of, partner dances. And so they would do that. And I had tried teaching some of the like circle dances or some cha-chas, partner cha-chas and things like that. And they were loving it and wanting more, but they wanted to know how to do more two-step or more swing. And so when I had asked you, like, what's too short of a notice to be trying to do this in, and what, how much training, what point should I actually start attempting to teach this? And you encouraged me to just give it a go, that anything was more than they have right now. That really paid off for them because people showed up consistently from my line dance class to do those 3 weeks, even though it was only 3 weeks I could offer. They showed up and they went from not dancing any partner dances to even after the first week getting up for multiple partner dances and grabbing different classmates from that, or even just trying to interact with other people at the bar. And so just seeing them, take it and grow with it and run with it. And that was for them, they got to now be involved. They got to be connected. They weren't just on the sidelines watching. For the people that were in relationships and showing up as a couple, because sometimes it was individuals, right? So that gave them confidence to know, go connect with people and ask them to dance because they're like, okay, at least I have the basics down, right? And then the couples, for them that have been showing up together and just watching these people connect through dance, they got to now live that out and work together on their dancing together, and just share those memories. So when they have a date night, instead of, just sitting on the bar watching people dance, they were getting to dance and be closer together.
Oh my gosh. So, 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 so beautiful. And I had forgotten that like you were only going to be there a very short amount of time to be able to even introduce it. So what did
Yeah.
you like, how did you utilize the training to like be ready for those
Yeah.
classes?
So for me, something that was important was I just wanted them to have understanding, right? I wanted them to be able to feel confident to do it. So I wanted to give them the swing portion of that, the country swing, because I knew that was going to give them the easiest steps into it. But I also wanted them to understand like what is swing and what is two step. And selfishly, I really want to lean more into some progressive two-step as well. So being able to teach that more. So I formatted it by doing the first half hour of country swing and teaching them the basics. And so I used your videos and how you kind of broke down here are some of the basic steps. Here's the different roles, right? Don't be anticipating as a follower and making sure you're communicating clearly as a lead. And so I started by just breaking it down with that of like, this is what your roles are. And then I went into how to poise their money, right? Like, what should you be doing structurally with your body as you're getting ready to do this. So before we even went into any of the steps, and then once they kind of got their framework down, understood their role, then we started practicing steps. And I did a little bit like line dancing. I separated them. I said, we're all facing this way. I need my leads on this side, my follows on this side. This is what foot we're starting with per each, but we're just going to practice traveling. And so we practiced that. And I did the same thing in a way for the two-step portion, which was the second half hour. So I gave them a break to practice their swing, any of the things we had taught that day. And then we moved into, okay, here's a little bit of what is two-step, right? And how that works. And so I did give them a little combo of how to, if they wanted to, right? If they wanted to practice traveling in two-step, but since they weren't going to be quite as ready to go into some of the spins from that, it's a little more complicated. I showed them how to break it off into swing, but that way they knew what was swing and what was two-step. And since that's mostly what was being done at that bar, they could do what everyone else was doing and they would know though. So whereas everyone else is like, yeah, this is country swing or two-step, someone would usually call it one or the other. They would logically know, okay, this is where my step is switching from a two-step to a swing or vice versa. And by week 3, they were actually doing different spins while traveling as a two-step frame. And so they had some of that. And that I felt like it gave them an introduction to know which way they want to lean into more. Some of them were really digging two-steps. Some of them were like, yes, I just want to do more swing. But yeah, it gave them the information so they can decide how they want to use that and what they're more passionate about, or if they want to learn both.
Wow, what a powerful gift that you like left them with. That's so cool. Did you have a partner that you taught with?
My husband for most of it, but he wasn't there some of it. So I also kind of pawned him off because I would shift off with demos and grab different people, or during some of the practice, I would take myself or him and partner up with some of the people that were having more trouble with it. So that way they could understand
I
and get
love
some
that.
of the feel if they're more of a tactile learner.
Okay. So like with the training, did your husband also train with you or did you learn everything? So tell me about
No, it's Um, he took instruction from me, so he knew that this was more of something I'm passionate about in the taking the training and wanting to teach. He loves to just dance, and so he let me take the direction for how I wanted to teach it, and he was very supportive of just saying, "Okay, what are you doing? How would you like to do this?" And then as I taught, I would give him a run through beforehand, so that way he knew kind of what layout I was doing, where I would need his support. And yeah, he was great and helped with that.
I love it. So then would it be safe to say that you learned from Kit like the lead and the follow perspective?
Yes. So while I had done like the makeshift bar style before as those lead and follow, learning how to do both was from Kit, how to technically do both. So there were things that like him and I would have conversations about. I'm like, no, it is like this. I know you've done more leading in your life, but based off the training, right? This is technically the way we should be doing it. And this is the difference for these portions or why we're doing it this way.
Awesome. And then did you see any difference in the two of your dancing? Like as you kind of in like tell me about that.
So I think he now has more interest in learning some of the technicals. He had had interest before, but I think just through military life and us moving and not getting to dance as much in some locations, some of that had died off. And now I've seen some of that come back where he's wanting to get more technical into it, because he too wants to do more of the true two-step, right? Or we love the waltz, even those things, right? And so making sure we're traveling with spins, with the right footwork, with the right framework and leading. Um, I catch myself a lot. It's good accountability not to anticipate, but to follow and to give him that space, especially as we are expanding.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been wondering, is there a particular like story or testimony that you've heard from someone in your classes, whether it be from line or partner, that really stands out and kind of makes you smile?
I would say it's more of a similar story that I've heard repetitively. And it's that, and it's interesting because it's not actually as much about dance as it is the community aspect and the sense that it gave them, right? And so it's that in military life, you're moving around a lot. It's hard to find connections and community and a place where you belong and what you want to be involved in each location. And it can be disheartening, and people can feel really isolated. And so the continuous story that I kept hearing is that I had searched for something to be involved in, and that it just nothing ever seemed to click. Showed up at it because either I had, some interest, I heard about something, or a friend dragged me along. And then I realized that this was just so much love and connection here and so much fun, right? They were able to be free and that their confidence then grew. So they would go from no, I can't do this. I look silly out here. And, after they keep coming and the whole community is encouraging them, no, we've been there too. You'll get past this. It's just getting the initial steps down and then you'll grow from it. Them really starting to feel confident in themselves and being able to be present and enjoy, and them then being the next set of people to invite the next set of new people in and welcome them in. And so really what it was this dance community was less about dance and more about community that dance gave them, right? It gave them that outlet that they needed.
Oh my goodness. It's so stinking beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. You've
So
such a,
they're amazing.
you're really
You
giving
give
me
me such a
so
gift.
much. Thank you. Hit me. Oh man, this is so cool. So cool. It's like I know that this is what exists with me sharing and giving what I have, but I don't always get to hear it. In fact, I think I rarely
Yeah,
get to hear it. And so this has been
really.
so, so precious to hear these
Well,
things
I
from.
have a little more.
Yes,
You're
please.
still okay. So another cool aspect is the connection between some of our people that were locals and some of our military community. And so there's this little small group at one of the local bars of locals that would come out consistently. Some of them were family members, some of them were their friends. And there's a language barrier that made some of it hard, but not even knowing what to talk about, right? But then as they love line dancing, love it, and they also came to many of the like all three of the partner dance lessons too. They were so excited about it, and so a lot of the military community or civilians were able to connect with them through dance. So whether it was going in asking them to dance with them, right, for a partner dance, whether it was a cha-cha or to do some country swing, or the connection between line dancing, where they are very skilled, by the way. Some of them are super skilled. And so they would be trying to learn line dances on their own. So anytime we taught off base, they were there for the lessons they wanted to learn. And so they were able to then connect the two communities together. And they had that, and they would, use Google Translate to talk about, okay, what line dance did you learn? Or even without Google Translate, it would just be like, hey, can you do that part again? Or like, can you show me, just so sweet and supportive. And a great addition from this is to be able to just have that connection and learn about other people's lives that in a country that we were living in, right?
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I remember you sharing about like you were going to do like a little festival or some event and it was off base and you were concerned about
So
the
I have
language
that too.
barriers
Yeah.
and
So that part, so a lot of them would go to this other bar. So there's two kind of country bars, one that had been around longer than the other. And so that same community that would go to Nashville's would go to Whiskey River on other days. And Whiskey River was the one that decided they wanted to throw a country concert. And so I got the opportunity. That was in August. So I knew that was like kind of a final wrap up event for me before leaving, to get to teach at the concert. And so they had some live bands come. And so in between that, we got to teach line dance lessons. And so, since they had already been involved in our community, they showed up there for that, which I think really helped. any of the people that had not, that were locals that just hadn't been involved for dancing because it was in an area that, you know, just has everyone there, very popular area, and it's open, so everyone hears the music and just kind of wanders in. And so you got to see other people joining too, to say like, oh, okay, like another Okinawan doing this. Like, let me get up and try to do this as well. It was amazing. It was really hot, but it was amazing. Um, the amount of people, it just brought me such joy. I heard everyone saying that it was a highlight and such a memorable event to get to go to. Our regular dance community was thrilled because they don't have these festival dance fests or competitions or anything to go to, right? And so for them, this was something that, okay, we get to go kind of show off a little bit, you know, like show and have fun with what we learned. And so they got to show up and have a blast. And I'll send you the group picture that we got at the end of that. And that wasn't even all the people in the group picture because we took it at the end of the night. There was different sets of, I think we had, it was like a 4 or 5 hour event. And so we did two different sets of line dance lessons with live music in between all of it. And so you would have some people come for the first couple of hours and then leave, and then some people come for the second set. So probably at least double of what you see in that group photo.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, what else?
You know, I mean, I'm sad I'm not going to be there next year. So I pass that on
Sure.
to Lauren. And so hopefully she'll either be there or be able to pass it on to someone to keep growing it and going with that.
Okay, if you can't tell already, I love dance. All types of dance, but right now I am so into partner and country line dancing. It is amazing. And my company, Kickstart Country, is doing a lot to really impact the community for the better of wellness, health, mindset, community, socialization, and of course, dance. So, with Kickstart Country, you're not just coming to a dance event, you are coming to an entire experience where we're there to serve you from start to finish. You're going to be greeted with open arms and smiling faces, probably a high five or a hug. I should say and or a hug because that's how we roll, making people feel comfortable and accepted. But in addition to events where you can learn all sorts of dance styles like line dance, country swing, two-step, West Coast swing, even dips and tricks, and even lifts and aerials if that's your jam. In addition to that, we have social dancing, lots of different activities, competitions, and more. Those are our Kickstart Country events, and you can find those at kickstartcountry.com. But additionally, we have a lot of other services. We offer subscriptions to help individuals who are either dancers wanting to increase their skill set, their knowledge library, or instructors who are really wanting to up-level what they're doing. We have subscriptions and we have training programs as well. So the Kickstart Instructor Training Program is an amazing opportunity for you to enhance your skill set, feel more confident in what you're sharing with others, and also make yourself a better dancer. We go far beyond the dance floor in this training, and we talk about so many things that are going to help you be a well-rounded instructor or just friend sharing what it is that you're doing on the dance floor. So from line dance training to partner dance training, DJ audio training to judges training, we are building out processes and systems so that you can make the most of your dance experience and serve your community the best. Additionally, if that wasn't enough, we also love providing the dance floors that you dance on. So Kickstart Country Productions has 13,000 square feet of Russian birchwood dance floor. That's the good stuff if you don't know what that means. And we are so excited to be sharing that with others. So check out Kickstart Country for all of these things and more, including our Country Professional National Network, where any type of country professional, whether it's an instructor, a DJ, choreographer, videographer, photographer, event director, whatever it is you do, competition coordination and everything else, if you want to be listed on this database so that others can find your services and find you, this is something to check out. So again, check out kickstartcountry.com to see more of what we've got in store. Well, and what I love is also like you, as much as you were kind of pulled into that opportunity at the very beginning, like that existed because someone else cared enough to continue to carry that torch. And I don't know if the person before you was the first or if she was carrying someone else's torch, but it's like whoever, wherever that, that land, or wherever, however far back that goes, like someone said yes to giving their time and their energy and sharing their passion in a
Yeah,
country that may not have even been, their own, where it was even just a temporary, you know,
yeah,
assignment or existence, and it's like so amazing. Like I'm so thankful for whoever was was your leader beforehand. I just want to
yes,
tell them like thank you so much because like what you did allowed for your gift like is giving beyond measure, and with Lauren like taking over and doing it, like I have confidence that that's just gonna it's
yes,
all those gifts are just going to continue to compound and reach so many
yeah.
people.
I'm excited. Maybe you never know how many people from Okinawa are now going to end up at some dance event or even just have a place when they come back stateside because for the most part, it's inevitable. All of them, even if they're there 6 years, they're coming back stateside for the most part. Most of them are coming back within a year to 3 years. And so this now gives them connection when they come back stateside to be able to say, okay, let me go look for a local place to go dance. And even if they don't do the same versions of the songs they know, they now have a skill set to be able to pick it up and learn faster. They've gotten through that initial hump of saying, okay, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and go into country dancing that I've never done before, right? They've done it now. So now they can say, okay, I know where I'm starting at and I know I can learn these things.
I love it. It's amazing. That's such a great perspective too, thinking beyond what happens while they're there, but how this is going to continue to positively impact her life, and like you said, the skill sets that they're getting and that they're improving on is going to translate. Doesn't matter what dance it is, doesn't matter what style it is, it's going to translate.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I'm trying to gather all of them. I'm telling them that we're going to do a Okinawa reunion at Nashville Dance Fest.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We've got a whole group coming from Iceland.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
exciting.
we gotta like it. National Dance Fest was created with the intent or the hope and the intention to the universe that it would be something that would be a destination for people to come from worldwide. Like I gotta make it there. Like this is gonna be the experience of a lifetime. So it's so cool to see that like coming to fruition just
Yeah.
moment by
Well,
moment.
and out of all of the different dance competitions to be like, that's the one that we're all going to meet up at.
Right, right. Absolutely. So
Well,
cool.
now it's got to happen.
Yep, yep. It's declared. It's
Yep.
declared. And I would love to go and visit one day in Okinawa. Now I have a whole new reason for even wanting to go.
Yeah. If you ever go, I'll meet you back over there.
Okay, love it. Oh, thank you so much, Cherie.
Thank you. It's honestly, I'm so excited about this judges training as well. That I cannot wait to dive into. I need to figure out because I tried to get into it today, so I do need to figure out how to log in and stuff. But I'm so excited. I never thought that was something I would be interested in, but when I thought about it, I was like, as far as like wanting to continue being a dance instructor and now being stateside, it's even more accessible and you know there's a higher chance that students are going to be saying, yeah, I want to go to compete. So even though I don't personally have an interest in competing, I like to be a little more behind the scenes, being able to support them through that. And then also, I think the ability to be able to give that consistency and that quality as a judge. I didn't think I would want to do that, like just be a judge in general. I didn't have an interest in it until I thought about what would I be giving if I was to do this training and become a judge. And I thought back to different activities as a kid, right? I did horseback riding. And so the scores that we would get, we sometimes would wonder like which judge do we have for dressage? What judge is going to be in the box? And what things do we know? Do they kind of focus on or do they lean to? Or, let me look back at my past score sheets from them because some of them would have certain biases or, like you knew they liked certain types of horses. That had nothing to do with their rider. And so thinking in that way, I thought about, okay, as far as a judge for a dance competition, I would want to provide that of saying, here's this consistency. So that way, when they're coming, they don't have to wonder, okay, which way does she lean or what's this? They can focus on ultimately being their well rounded dancer, right? And improving and be able to gauge that because that also gives you the motivation, right? That's exciting to say, I'm working towards being a better dancer. And then to work towards it for an event, go to an event and say, wow, look at how my scores have changed. Or, last time I got something about timing. This time I didn't have any notes about that. There's maybe a different note, but now I can focus on that, right? So when I thought in it that way, I was like, yeah, this actually would be pretty cool to do. And I'm excited to get into it.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I love that mindset. And that's what I hope does come across to more people. I hope people come to that conclusion themselves as well. Because I love your example about the horseback riding. I did gymnastics when I was younger, and my daughter did like competitive dance, and my son did taekwondo, and all three of those, and then I did cheer as well, and competitive cheer. So all three of those have judging that can be very subjective. And
Mhm.
so yeah, like not like you said, not having to worry about like, okay, who do I need to play to today? What kind of politics, what politics do I need to play to
Yeah.
based on who's on the panel? It's like to be able to think, okay, these judges, they get it. They all have
Mhm.
awareness now of biases that we all have, and how can and just kind of like trusting more and more that there will be consistency and credibility and fairness on the dance floor so that the dancer can focus on the dance and not on, oh, so
But
and so's judging. Let me make sure I do this or that with my makeup or with my shoes, or don't do that
yeah.
move. I know they hate that move. So it's a really great mindset and framework to be thinking from, in my opinion.
Awesome. And yes, it's
I
so
love
yeah, I'm
it.
excited for it. I know I have a long ways to go with it, but I'm ready for it. And I'm glad that you're opening it up to someone that even if they don't have prior experience can jump in and learn how to be that for the community.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying so. So validating. Okay, it's so amazing to be here with you, Cherrie, and hearing your story and learning more about you. Tell us a little bit about who you are and how this came to be.
So I'm Cherrie, and I'm very grateful to be here. I grew up in California, did not know anything about country dance world at all. And then when I moved to Texas, I started getting a hint in it, started realizing it was something really fun that I wanted to be involved in. And then eventually, fast forward, moved to Japan with the military, and I got an opportunity to be a dance instructor for line dancing on base. And then that just kept growing. And so through that, I saw the kit training and I knew I needed that. I knew I did not have the skills I needed. And so I was really excited to do that and to be able to grow my skills and what I could give to the community in that. So that way it wasn't just making it work, but quality. And I've really gotten a passion for line dancing now. I think I didn't have as much appreciation for it until I learned all those aspects.
Thank you so much for being here. And if this episode brought you clarity, gave you a shift, or helped you feel more alive, I'd love it if you shared it with a fellow leader, dreamer, or visionary in your life. I always love hearing what resonates with you, so please feel free to send me a DM, and it would mean so much to me if you left a 5-star review to help more people find this space. If you're ready to take this deeper, check the show notes for ways we can work or grow together. Whether you're leading from a stage, in your community, or in your own healing, just remember this. Your power isn't in who you're trying to become, it's in who you already are. So keep showing up, keep moving forward, and keep living all out as is.